I actually straight up love doing this. No cappers whatsoever. I fucking hate passionates. But you all love them, so I'm taking one for the team. Alright, let me change the title real quick. Alright, so we are going to skip obvious shit that we already know. Like, for example, actually, no examples yet. Alright, here we go. There will be examples, so. 3.1. Mysterious entity known only as the Elder haunts the atlas of the world, spreading decay and battling the shape of a control. For more information, check that out. 32 new maps and 2 new unique maps. We've already seen both of the unique maps. And, well, we've seen what they are. Haven't seen inside both of them yet, I don't think. Should be good. They look really nice. Added new boss fights with the Elder and his 4 Guardians. We've already seen what they're called, apparently. Introduced Shaped and Elder items. These items can only be obtained in areas where the Shaper or the Elder hold influence, or by defeating the Shaper or Elder themselves. Shaped and Elder items can obtain mods not found elsewhere, as well as higher tier versions of some existing mods. Right. Add a new quest, Queen of the Sands. This quest can be obtained by talking to Petaris and Vanya in Act 9 after completing the prerequisite quest, the Stormblade. So we still have to do that. The Book of Skill quest reward for completing the Stormblade has been moved to Queen of the Sands. The Stormblade now rewards players with the choice of several rare weapons. That's okay. That's fine, I suppose. No big deal. Tier 0 left, Tier 1 mods. Yeah, these shaped and elder items are going to be a big deal. A big deal. 48 new unique items. Jesus. That's a lot. And only 46 of them will probably be garbage. So, 2 new uniques. Hype. Added 6 new divination cards. I think we already saw those. An idea tier 16 looked good. So that's something. 46 Alks Pogchep. You fucking wish they at least fended for an Alk each. Probably be like half an Alk. Alright. New Dexterity Int. Unearth. Okay, so we've seen Unearth. Cremation, we've seen that. Body Swap. Seen that. I want to read this actually. Your body explodes, dealing spell damage in an area around you, and target corpse also explodes, dealing damage around it. Body is recreated at the location of the corpse. Cool. The explosion of corpse is not affected by modifiers to spell damage and cannot be reflected. Ugh, okay. Spell cannot be repeated. No echo or anything, right. I guess I should read the others here. Unearth fires a projectile that will pierce through enemies to impact the ground at the target location, creating a bone archer corpse where it lands. Right. Dexterity. Cremation's a dexterity one, eh? That's weird. Targeted corpse explodes, dealing area damage and turning into a volcanic geyser, which will repeatedly unleash projectiles sequentially over the surrounding area for a duration. The explosion of the corpse is not affected by modifiers to spell damage and cannot be reflected. Also not spell damage and can't be reflected. That's fine. Volatile Violate Dead. Once again, my mind read Violate Dead, and I was like, no, not like this, GGG. Corpses near the targeted location explode, dealing damage in a small area and creating an orb which moves toward nearby enemies before dealing spell damage in a larger area. Explosion of corpse is not affected by modifier spell damage and cannot be reflected. Okay. Didn't know it did a bit of damage to start with, but that's okay. Vulnerability is split into 2 gems. We just saw that. Despair. Yep. Storm barrier support creates a barrier around you while you channel supported skill. Barrier reduces the physical and lightning damage you take from hits and grants you a chance to gain a power charge when hit. Them hoots. Sorry about the hoots, but they come with the stream these days. Alright. What's next? Spell Cascade. Spot area targeting skills will also target an area in front and behind your initial target. You got it. Use Strength Support and Ancestral Call. Supported single target melee skills. Target 2 additional nearby enemies. Yep, that should be a lot of fun. Mirage Archer Support. Hitting an enemy with a supported bow skill creates a Mirage Archer who continues to use that skill for a duration. See how good that is. That really is something we have to play around with, I think. Added 3D art for Malachi's Mark, Diala's Malefaction, Dendrobate. What's Dendrobate? Isn't that the new chest? The poison chest? Hiltless, Void Battery, Red Blade Tramplers, and Lightning Coil. Isn't Dendrobate that chest? Struggling here. Yeah, it is. Well, that thing would probably look really cool with 3D art. Wouldn't it? I imagine it would. The 2D art's like cool. I used it for a build. Yeah, I know. I know what the chest is. I'm just, struggling with names sometimes. Because excuse fucking me if there's 7,000 uniques in this game and I can't remember each and every one for name to association of item. God, chat. Fucking absolute merciless cunt. The Abyss Challenge League. Am I saying it? Abyss? Abyss? Abyss. It's gotta be Abyss. I keep saying Abyss. Abyss. The Abyss Challenge League. Challenges are great, yes. So start Abyss Challenge League instead of the other way around. Does this for a living. Yeah, look, I'm a casual Path of Exile player. Sometimes I forget some unique names. It's my first day. Leave me alone. The B is silent. Ace? Yeah, I don't think so. Yep, that's fine. Players progress. Some pits may offer access to the abyssal depths below. These abyssal depths are packed with monstrous creatures and valuable rewards and culminate in an exciting boss encounter. Culminate. Exciting encounter. I like it. Exploring the abyssal depths in high-level areas might result in an encounter with a lich boss. These difficult boss fights are quite rare, but very rewarding. Defeating a lich is the only way to earn an exclusive abyss item. I don't like the sound of quite rare. When they use words like quite rare in the past, that means 1 in a billion people are going to fight this. Hopefully it's less than that rare. It's something you get to do routinely enough. Alright. Monsters and chests from the Abyss can drop abyssal jewels. Like other jewels, these can be placed in sockets in your passage tree to grant powerful bonuses. Unlike other jewels, they have a set of exclusive new properties and can also be placed in abyssal sockets on your items. These sockets can be found in Abyss Uniques and a new type of Abyss socket belt, the Stygian Vice. Yep, 40 challenges. The portal looked really cool. 19th, blah blah blah. Minor features. Do we need to read minor features, chat? Chat? Minor features? Only minor? Yes. A few no's. The no's were the right answer, but fine. We'll go with the yes. The targeting... Oh, there's not even that much. Come on. The targeting behavior of many skills has been improved, especially against large targets such as Kitava and Arakali. That's good news. Updated the item frames to fit the current user interface. Not quite sure what that means, but... Updated the stash chest model. So new, so shiny. Cool. I like new and shiny. The tutorial has been slightly adjusted to better direct players who are having trouble very early on. Hear that, chat? You guys can be, more informed with a better tutorial. You'll have to ask me less questions. Right? That's exactly what's going to happen. Added a tutorial element for using portal scrolls and improved the waypoint tutorial. Added a visible tutorial barrier to the entry of Linar's Watch, which vanishes after a passive skill point is applied. You can now open the help panel by pressing blah. This can be changed in the options menu. Pressing what? That? Why is that help panel? That's terrible. How the fuck do you move in Path of Exile? I know you're trolling, but so many people ask me how I'm moving when my left click is something else, so it happens. Yes, it's a semicolon, also known as blah. But I don't know why that's the key. What are we up to? You can now dismiss help panel notifications by right-clicking them. They'll disappear by themselves after 6 seconds. Easy, easy, easy. You can now turn divination cards in at Navali in the epilogue town or in your hideout. Description of divination card achievement Soothsaying has been updated to reflect this. That's a very nice change. Forsaken Masters have moved back to Oriath and can now be found in the epilogue town. Yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. An effect is now played on corpses which disappear due to hitting the corpse creation limit for skills like Desecrate and Unearth. Okay, that's fine. That's good. I guess that makes sense. Values for ailments such as shock and chill effectiveness can now be viewed in the character panel. That's pretty nice. Added a system for scaling the visual effects of ailments based on the size of the monster. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Added voice acting for many NPCs and story glyphs which were missing them when they were added in the Fall of Oriath. Yeah, that's about time, I suppose. Law. Added images to the map pin hovers for areas added in the Fall of Oriath. Cool. Added an option to leave your current party to the character portrait drop-down menu. Nice bit of quality of life right there. The league selected on the drop-down menu on the character selection screen is now saved. It will be selected league whenever you open your client. That's pretty good. Improve the quest reward selection user interface. That's probably really good. That is clunky as balls. Where are we up to? Added a timer below each flask icon, which, while the flask is active, displays the remaining duration for that flask. Oh, that's awesome. That's really nice. Being able to read that while looking down at your flask to see if you have charges and shit, instead of up there to see if you have, yeah, up there. That's so much better. I hope. That's so much better. Debuffs are now displayed on a separate line to buffs, flask effects, and charges. That's also pretty good. I think some people will be pretty happy with that. Some people indeed. So that's pretty good. More quality life. Auras you have activated that are affecting you are no longer displayed in the buff bar as a skill icon shows which auras are active. Auras from other sources will still appear in your buff bar. That's, yeah, pretty good. Whoa, we said we wouldn't name whoever that was, guys. Calm down. Skills modified with... Is that what we're up to? Skills modified with cooldowns now show their final cooldown rather than the cooldown modifier. Yeah, that's good. More quality of life. Monsters will now show their rarity as they're emerging. I guess that's good, yep. The challenges tab now displays the number of challenges you completed at the top. That's pretty good. It's actually really useful, and it was super counterintuitive before, so now that's pretty good. The default minimum for dynamic resolution scaling is now set to 30 frames per second, and you can change that manually. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's a good place to be at, 30. Improve the effects for monster rarities and ailments. That's pretty good. Added support for subsurface scattering. Check out the ice and candles. I don't know what you're trying to tell me, but I will. Optimize a lot of skills, areas, monsters, and effects. And continue to incrementally improve the sound, art, effects, and environments. Probably added more fucking burning ground and haven't removed any burning ground, so that's a shame. But optimization, yay. One of these days I'm going to read patch notes and they will say removed burning ground, and I will high five each and every one of you in chat. Today is not that day. Character balance. Intimidate now causes enemies to take 10% increased attack damage rather than 10% increased damage. Ooh. Rip Belt of the Deceiver for, like, a lot of characters. Yeah, I used it on a fair few, didn't I? Now it's only 10% increased attack, and that's the ones where Intimidate was weakest already, because, you know, you could get a lot of attack damage from a belt slot regardless. Refresh the page, there's a new point under character balance. I'll trust you. Bravo. But if you fuck me, you'll feel my wrath. Alright. Instead, you get a nod of approval. Experience penalty at very high levels has been increased. This predominantly affects characters level 95 and above. I should just say this does not affect you filthy casuals. And then we'll know that it doesn't matter for most of us. Vulnerability and despair, yup. Skill balance. Alright, so this is some good stuff. Here we go. Skill balance. That's fine. Your minions and their minions. Wait, what? Your minions? Alrighty then. Will no longer deal or take damage while you are dead. Does that mean Golemancers can't, like, AFK kill things anymore? Did that just straight up murder everyone's build that did that? Like, people that just straight up would run in, suicide, and have golems finish things off, can't do anything? Because that's pretty fucking hilarious, if true. Yup, murdered. Oh man, get dicked on, anyone that did that. You make me sick. That's pretty good. Dark Pact, yep, we saw that. Detonate dead now deals. Oh, I already looked at this actually, that's part of the thing. Cast time's been lowered. Right. I guess we'll read it anyway. Detonate dead now deals spell damage based on the level of the skill gem, in addition to damage based on the corpse's maximum life. Right, base fire damage dealt by the spell part of the explosion has been significantly increased. Skill now adds additional area as it levels, and its base crit has been increased from 5 to 6. I don't remember seeing that, but maybe it was there. That's pretty cool. Raised Spectre now grants additional accuracy to Spectres based on the level of the gem. I assume that's great. DD got super buffed? Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't suck. And the graphic looked amazing, so should be pretty cool. Bear Trap and Violent Rain of Arrows now remove all movement speed as opposed to reducing it by 300%. So it properly locks you down and you can't actually move. No matter how much movement speed you have, which, yeah, that's fine, I guess. Raging Spirits now have a 15% less added damage multiplier, up from 30. Less, up, what? Now have 15% less added damage multiplier, up from 30. So it used to have 30% less damage, is what you're saying, and now it's got 15, so it's buffed by 15. Is that, like, really good for your SRSs? I don't know how much you use added damage multipliers for that. Do you guys use that stuff? Like angers and all that? SRS buff. It's pretty PogChamp, I guess. Well, congrats, dudes that summon raging birds. You better have birds to summon to buy the MTX. Maybe one day I'll still do that. We'll find out. Summoned skeletons now have 50% more added damage multiplier, up from 30% less added damage. Could this be any more confusing? I do get what they're saying though, but by God, 50% more added damage multiplier, up from 30% less damage. Yeah, 80% buff, something like that. I mean, does that make them viable? Were they viable before? Are they much more viable now? Are they overpowered now? I don't know how to interpret this. I've never summoned a skeleton in my life. So, well, that's a lie. 4 years ago, we used to use summon skeleton attached to totem as a defense in most of our characters. So, I did used to do that. But okay. They are overpowered now. Okay. What are we what facing? I assume a little blip happened. Is it still happening? Why are there still what faces happening? Are you trolling me once again? Just one sharp sound? Okay. Now I remember, last time I was reading patch notes, you guys just randomly what-faced all the fucking time, because I was mildly drunk, and you were messing with me. Don't appreciate it, chat. Don't appreciate it at all. Behind me? You know I can look at my OBS and see exactly what you're seeing on the webcam, right? So, I don't have to turn around to check behind me and verify that you're fucking with me. Anyway, we're up to something else. Raging spirits, spiders created from Arakali's fang, and the spirit skulls from the essence insanity can no longer taunt their enemies. Alright. Maybe that's bad. I doubt that matters. The amount of burning damage dealt by the burning ground created by a burning arrow on a character with the pitch darkness threshold jewel is now determined by the level of the burning arrow skill gem. I mean, that could be an upgrade, could be a buff, could also not matter, depending on how terrible burning arrow still is, and burning damage still is, so probably terrible, probably doesn't matter. All the storms can now trigger lightning strikes from channeled skills. Oh, that's kind of cool. I guess that means a bit of synergy there with old mate lightning tendrils. See if that's good. Desecrate now creates 5 up from 3, cooldown reduced to 3 from 5. Yep, good buffs there. Cast time reduced. Max corpse level now grants more steadily. Now grows more steadily as the skill gem levels up. It can now create higher level corpses at most levels except level 19 of the gem, in which the maximum corpse level has been lowered from 100 to 81. Right. Okay. Lightning Tower, I mean, yeah, it's all pretty good. Desecrate, good shit there. Lightning Tendrils has been reworked, is now a channeled skill and deals more damage on every 4th pulse. It also has received a visual overhaul. The new version hits slightly less frequently than previously, but has higher sustained damage overall. Cool. I really want to try Lightning Tendrils when it first comes out, but I feel like it's going to be the wrong move if I want to experience Guardians and Endgame Elder and all that. So I don't know about that. It's going to be a decision. Minion life support now affects minion life multiplicatively. It now provides 30% more minion life rather than 30% increased minion life at level 1 of the gem, up to 49% more at level 20. Which doesn't affect me at all, but maybe that means something for someone. Remember Stormburst? I do remember Stormburst, which is why I'm saying it might be a problem for me. I don't want... I mean, it was fun to play Stormburst at the start of the league, but yeah, if I was trying to beat Shaper then, it would have been a disaster. So, meh. Minion life support now effects. Yep, Dark Pact now counts as being a minion skill gem, and thus will interact with effects such as the one found in Cloak of Tawny's former Isle. Okay. Ruthless support can no longer support channeled skills. RIP. RIP Blade Flurry Ruthless combo. That's pretty brutal. Cyclone can no longer be supported by Ruthless. No, not Cyclone as well. Okay. I mean, it's fair, I suppose. Ruthless is pretty goddamn good, but yeah. BF on Suicide Watch? I don't think so. It's just, yeah, it's a shame. You know, it'll still be fine. It's just less good now, or less overpowered even. Iron Will can now support Summon Skeleton and will affect the damage dealt by Skeleton Mages if you are using the Dead Reckoning Threshold Jewel. Not sure how relevant that is, to be honest. But I also don't actually have any idea. Arctic Armor's Chilling Effect now slows enemies by 30% when you are hit, up from 10. Oh, that's pretty good. Melee attacks spotted by Multistrike now more accurately take attack range, including area effect modifiers into account when checking for targets subsequent attacks. This has negatively impacted some skills and positively impacted others. In general, melee attacks spotted by Multistrike will target monsters that better fit the behavior of the attack. Okay, I hope that's good. And doesn't make anything feel jankier. That's really good for Baron builds. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Bladefall's area effect was wider than intended, close to the caster. The area effect now better matches the area the blades visually land. The total width of Bladefall's area effect has been increased slightly to compensate for the now narrower early stages. I think that's fine. I mean, Bladefall is okay, but just really gets outshone by EK right now. With the, not Echo, Spell, whatever you call it. Spell Cascade? Is that what we call it? Spell Cascade. It may see some use, because it's going to get a lot of clear out of that. So we'll keep an eye on that. Stormburst is now correctly modified by factors based on the state of projectile, such as powerful precision's projectile, 100% increased crit strike chance against targets they pierce. Wow, what a game changer. Stormburst now amazing, said everyone. Charge dash is now limited to a maximum of 15 strikes per skill use, as well as limited by distance traveled. Yikes. I'm not sure that's going to affect the average charge dash build. It might just mean you can't actually meme it up with charge dash with 0 movement speed and 1,000 attacks per second, you know. So I doubt that's going to matter. If you look at this and think, charge dash nerf, oh no. It probably doesn't matter to the average charge dash build. Not that many people are playing it regardless. Static Strike's radius has been increased from 19 to 20. Holy shit! Bring its total radius to 24 at gem level 20. Static Strike's explosion now correctly applies ailments with 40% less effect. It was previously applying ailments without taking the less damage modifier into account, which is why everyone was using it. That's a game changer. 19 to 20 and then nerfed, lol. My god. Are we playing the same game? Ice Crash radius has been increased from 8 to 9 for the first stage, from 16 to 18 for the second stage, and from 24 to 26 for the third stage. Whoa. That's just nothing. Earthquake's radius has been increased from 25 to 28 for the second stage. I mean, that's a bit of a buff. Reeve's radius has been increased from 17 to 20, bringing it up to 24 at gem level 20. Ooh. I was actually pretty happy with my Reeve in the race. My Reeve radius, so pretty sugoi. I reckon rev 17 to 20. Yeah, not bad. That'll be useful. Everyone excited about their EQ jugs for 3 extra radius? Okay. Enjoy your lab farming. Wither now increases chaos damage taken by 6, down from 7, stacks up to 15, down from 20. I didn't go full anime, I said Sugoi. I like saying Sugoi. Fuck yourself, Oysel. Vial power siphon's radius has been reduced to 70 units, down from 120. I wonder if that breaks it for the Vial power siphon farmers. I'm sure it's still good, just, you know, not broken. Rip Cute Dog. Cute Dog on Suicide Watch. Maybe. Item balance, divination cards. The locations, drop rates, and requirements for many divination cards have been reworked, in part due to the changes to the Atlas in this patch, and in part to better integrate divination cards into areas introduced into Fall of Earth. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's always fun to mix that up, I think. We'll see how that goes. Life regeneration mods have been slightly renamed and reordered, as 2 higher tiers have been added. I mean, if they're better, the higher tiers, then that's pretty good. Because right now they're fairly useless. But life regen and items could be good. If it's actually good, then I'm okay with that. Life regen mods on rare items have been buffed across the board, with the existing highest tier mod now granting up to 20 life per second. Existing items can be updated to these new values when using Divine Orbs. 20 per second as the highest. I mean, is that useless? It's useless, isn't it? That's mostly useless. I think that's going to be hard to justify. That's the highest tier for the current, and the next one would be better. The existing highest tier mod now granting him to 20. 2 high tiers have been added. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. If it goes up to like 30 or 40 per second, yeah, we could see some use then. When used in a belt, Essence Miscellaneous now grants 10% increased movement speed during any Flask effect, up from 5. Sure, I don't think that's very good still, personally, but it's not bad. Like if you're going to Essence a belt, you're going to use the penetration one probably. But 10%, it's nothing to sneeze at, I guess. Atlas-only item base types can no longer be found in Vial side areas. Right. I still have a lot. Mom! I don't want to read this many patch notes. What are we up to? Item balance. Whoops, unique item balance. Series Acuity no longer instantly leeches life from critical strike and instead grants Vial Pact if you have dealt a critical strike recently. This does not affect existing versions of the item. See the passage tree changes. Jesus. Legacy? Series Acuity? Is that what I'm reading? People get to keep old acuities. That's... I mean, softcore is just... It's not even the same game at this point anymore then. It straight up isn't. Like with acuities, with old energy shield items, with legacy Vinctars. It's a different game, so what the fuck's the point? I don't understand. Witchfire Brew now creates a Despair Curse Aura on use. Yep, we get that. Doomfletch, we looked at those. Lion's Roar now only grants knockback to melee attacks during Flask effect. Wait. Is that not what it does now? Does it give knockback during Flask effect? Can't use it with Proj. Did you ever? Did anyone ever? Like, I get that there's a distinction now. But was it ever used for anything besides melee to begin with? Wait, we're saying it actually. You think this means that Lion's Roar is only knockback and it doesn't have damage? You think they took off the damage by saying now only grants knockback to melee attacks during Flask effect? Because I'm not sure that's what that means. I think it's just clarifying the knockback portion of the Flask. Yeah. Just talking about the knockback. I don't think it's showing you the entire item and saying this is what it does. Which, yeah, I don't think it will affect almost any of us, unless some people found niche uses for knockback with some other random shit. Fair enough. I guess that's fine. Lycosidae. Chance to drop from monsters has been greatly reduced. This item is being used on a significant portion of melee characters across all levels, an extremely cheap way to get around accuracy requirements. Oh boy. Several Exalt Lycosidaes incoming. I guarantee it. It's not going to reduce the usage of them. It's just going to make them extremely fucking expensive. Tier 1 unique. Yeah, it is, basically. I mean, it's like one of the single biggest damage upgrades you can put into almost every build for an item slot. Bisco's Collar. Chance to drop from monsters has been greatly reduced. Oh man, that's not a good change. That's just going to widen the gap between people that have it and don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. People that get it are just going to farm for days, and people that can't get it because it's like 10 exalts. They're going to be 10 or 15 exalts. I'm telling you that right now. 10, 15 exalts, something like that. And that's steep. Fuck that item. I wish they just nerfed it. I wish they just nerfed it. Queen of the Forest, rather Phoenix, done. Omen on the Wind now also allows Ice Shot to pierce 3 additional targets down from 5. This can be divided. Now allows Ice Shot to pierce 3 additional targets down from 5. I don't think that needed a nerf, but okay. They nerfed Ice Shot Jewel because of you? How? Why? No. My endgame build didn't have the jewel. I told people not to use the jewel because it wasn't worth it. So why would they nerf that? I did skip a unique. Sorry about the blips, guys. I don't know how or why I can do anything about that. Yeah, I did miss anything. Con Ming's stratagem. No longer creates smoke cloud when socketed trap is triggered. Instead grants the Fog of War skill, which creates a smoke cloud when any of your traps are triggered. Skill has a cooldown. Alright, whatever. Don't think that matters. Dancing Dervish. While manifesting Dancing Dervish is active, Dancing Dervish now has a 25% chance to grant you a rampage kill when it hits a unique enemy. The minion created by this unique can no longer cross unwalkable gaps. These changes affect all versions of the item. Does that matter for us? Rampage kill when it hits a unique enemy. So it just means you can sustain rampage, potentially, when it's up against bosses. Alright. And most, the chilling effect now slows enemies by 30% when you are hit, up from 10. That's pretty good. That's fairly big. The Baron now adds half of your strength to your minions rather than all of your strength. This affects all versions of the item. Reap! That's big. I don't know if it's still viable, but that's pretty fucking big. Like, does that kill it? Baron fans of this item and minion stuff, does that kill it, or is it just make it a lot worse? It's still good, still viable. There you go. There you go. No problems. Dead Reckoning now correctly replaces a number of skeleton warriors with skeleton mages when using Val summon skeletons. Oh, that's kind of cool. Damn, Val summon skeletons would be insane for that then. Death's Oath now properly updates the behavior when items pass a skill. Skills change it in some way. Oxium clarified that freeze duration, not effect, is based on energy shield. Alright, functionality is not changed. Alright. Alright, how far down are we? Because I probably need to take a piss. Honka S. Feels wrong. Does it, Fandel? Does it? I think leaving legacies feels wrong. Otherwise, meh. Alright, I'll be right back, chat. Alright, I'm back, we're back, everyone's back. These are the real patch notes, not fake ones. And yes, I've gone over them for like 30 minutes now, something like that. Monstar balance. New monsters have been added to areas all throughout Raycast and Earth, including newer, more difficult versions of the parasites found throughout Act 6 and 7. Oh, that's kind of cool. They were just nothing before. And Katava-fied versions of the Blackguards found throughout Act 5. Cool. Katava-fied shit. The number of monsters found in areas throughout the campaign has been adjusted, and the number of monsters found throughout the game will be more consistent across multiple instances. Oh, that's nice. That is very nice. Some areas just feel empty, man. So this particularly affects the old fields, the Vile Ruins, the sewers, Marketplace, Battlefront, Ebony Barracks, and Crystal Veins, but it's not strictly limited to those. Yeah, that all makes sense. Following unique monsters are no longer immune to freeze, and instead have a minimum action speed that they will be set to if they are frozen. Shaper, Chimera, Minotaur, Hydra, Phoenix, Vision of Justice, Goddess, Argus, Abaxoth, End of All That Is. Past, Atsiri, Vessel of the Vile, Atsiri's Devoted. Torment and Temptress. Wow, okay. Freeze buffs. And there it is. Freeze buffs. About time. I thought they were coming last time. But, you know, we tried. Monsters which trigger skills based on the damage they can take can now trigger those skills from taking damage over time. Ooh, that's a bit nasty. Want some of those, I think. From memory. You know? Hailrake dude, for example. Whatever his name is. Brave Blood or something. I don't know his fucking name. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Ultimately. Infested monsters that can spawn parasites when slain now grant increased experience, and dropped when shatter or explode to compensate for them not releasing the parasites on death. Yeah, I never really thought about that, but that's good. Shield crabs now give additional experience to destroyed before they would unleash their final form. Their final form. That's pretty nice, I guess. Horseshoe crabs. Goats are going to kick your ass. Yeah, that's one of those, isn't it? Like molten shell triggerings. Touche. Crimson Scholars also give additional experience if shattered. Yep, cool. Monster mods reflects physical damage and reflects elemental damage have been reworked. They now appear as Nemesis mods. Attacking a monster with physical or elemental reflect now triggers a mortar spell targeted at your location. The spell has a cooldown. That's good. Should be easy, but who knows? Maybe it's really quick. Both versions of Reflect now only appear on Nemesis rare monsters. Okay. The effects created by Flamebearer, Frostbearer, Stormbearer now appear more quickly and should be more clearly visible. Ooh, they appear more quickly. That's good too. The Rislatha fight in Act 6 has been significantly changed. Rislatha's eggs now explode and create damaging patches on the ground. Rislatha herself is much more mobile. The monsters now spawned by her pods are possessed by more difficult parasites. Rislatha herself is now immune to knockback. Ooh, that could be tough, to be honest. That buff to that boss. Who knows? Who knows? The Lightning Thorn skill used by Blackguard Mage as well as others no longer deals a flat amount of reflected lightning damage to attackers. Instead, it triggers a nova of lightning projectiles with a short cooldown. Oh, that's way better for a lot of characters. It's not really that dangerous these days, but, you know, I guess it could be. Lightning Thorn skill. Parasite infesting Hollow Skull. The willing host is now called Encephalophage. Encephalophage. Encephalophage can now leap slam. Alright. Parasites that drop off of slain monsters will now match their host's rarity. That's pretty cool. Riptide now better signals when it will use its dangerous skills and creates fewer vortexes. Okay, that's fine. I mean, sure, you can say phage, but you can say fudge. It's not a big deal. Shut up. Riptide, Captain Artery and Captain Aurelianus. Let's go with Aurelianus. Can now drop items, just not very many. Alright. Carrion burrowers are now visually distinct from their surface-dwelling counterparts. Actually, that's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, because those are just like beetles that burrow, and you can't really tell that they're burrowing beetles. The life and damage of many warband monsters has been adjusted to make them suitable map bosses. Wait, what? Weren't they already? Are you talking about not the actual boss, like their friends that would die pretty quickly? Now they're stronger? Have mercy. Shipyard just got even harder. The beams in the various reassembled encounter now have more pattern variations. They also deal less damage, but the damage persists for a duration after you've been touched. Okay. The beams in the Kato Defiler of Light encounter have had the same treatment. Alright. Malagara's slam attacks in Act 7 and 9 and now also poisons and maims on hit. Yikes. That's a bit rough. Probably shouldn't make it much out of it. Sulfuric Striders and Undying Operators can no longer appear in Essence Monolith. The bloodstained skeletons found in the Blood Aqueducts have been slightly more difficult. That's fine. Effigy of Fear's Crows now deal more damage. Sure. Improve the Tolman encounter in Act 8. Tolman and the Ant can now use a few extra skills. That's pretty good. Kind of a joke as is, I suppose. Hopefully that, you know, actually looks kind of cool, if nothing else. Katarina missions, which require you to find, raise, and kill an item monster, now use different on-death effects. Sure. Maybe I'll do a Katarina mission once to try it out. Reduce the amount of damage dealt by the Pillars of Carnage rune explosion. I don't know what that is. Shavron's Ball Lightning in Act 6 and 9 now deals more damage and has a clearer area of effect. Skill also deals less damage at close range. Okay. That's fine, I think. Act 6 though. Yeah, that could be dangerous in Act 6, I feel. Chevron Stormburst in Act 9 now fires an additional projectile. It can no longer stun and it deals less damage to players at close range. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what Chevron in Act 9 does. I'm pretty sure I've killed it instantly on every character, even the shittily geared ones. Because that thing has no life. Chevron's summon books now have more life and deal approximately 35% more damage. It's fine. Anna Kuakoltli? Death's Worship now deals physical damage with a projectile nova. And Raging Spirits now deal more damage at lower levels. Alrighty. Chevron's summon books now, yep, looked at that. And a Kuakoltli, yep. Goose Bandit's allies now flee when he dies. I think that really matters. Doju's spirit is now a little quicker at raising zombies in Act 9. I don't remember it doing anything anyway. Doju in Act 9 no longer repeatedly summons a large number of stone pillars. The pillars now die when the encounter ends. Okay. Significant portions of the Brave Trinity encounter have been reworked. In particular, Malagara's Bladefall and Chevron's Ball have undergone large changes. I mean, don't know what that means yet, but could mean pretty dangerous shit. Because it is fairly avoidable at the moment. The damage of Katava's X Blast, the skill shaped like an X, has been slightly lowered in Act 10. I don't know. It's avoidable, and you're supposed to avoid it, so sure, whatever. I guess it's just a little more forgiving now. The Bear Acolytes in Act 6 now move more quickly. Brine Crack now has a sweet suit of cracking new skills. Cool. Sweet suit. Sweet. A suit, isn't it? But it's a suite, as in a location. I'm confused. Clockwork golems will no longer simply flee. Instead, they will move around you and to you based on different conditions. Their damage has been increased by 25%. Yeah, it is a suite, isn't it? Because a suit doesn't have an E at the end, does it? No, that's a suit. It's now has a sweet of cracking new skills. They do that specifically to fuck with me when I was reading these, because that's pretty rude. Reduced the damage dealt by the Harbinger of Disorder's Holy Mortar, duration of its Holy Spark. Doubt that matters. The Augmented Dead in Chamber of Sins in Act 7 no longer have a chance to launch a Lightning Soul on death. Chamber of Sins, Act 7. I don't remember that being a problem or doing anything. Dawn can now throw his shield and explode into smaller projectiles. Cool. Dusk has a new projectile skill called Carpet Bomb, and it doesn't make your floors more comfortable to walk on. Hugh. Fucking kidding me. Alright. I bet chat is torn on that one. They don't know whether to spam at Nelly or haha. Anyway. What are we up to? The Window Shard monsters in Act 10 now deal more damage, have more life, and resist all elements instead of just cold. They spawn in fewer numbers and are larger. Now have altered behavior to be less likely to use all of their rolling attack immediately. Alrighty. Window Shard monsters. Which ones are those? Is that like the ice golems that look kind of window shardy? Maybe. Alright, what are we up to? Plague Wretch in the Chamber of Sins now has some friends he can hang out with. Go. Do we ever come across him right now? The purple Ascalms. Yeah, that's what I thought they were. Sin and Innocence are now a little more dynamic during the Act 10 finale. That's pretty cool. The Basilisk now has a Stone Gaze ability. If you face each other during this ability, you become petrified. Petrification is similar to freeze, but it is removed if you are hit a number of times or the duration runs out. Alright, fair enough. You wish you had friends? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the blood-soaked fallen in the blood aqueduct now explode on death, sending corrupted blood projectiles in all directions. Okay. Tukohama's vanguards no longer summon multiple totems at a time while spected, and the duration of their totems has been lowered to 5 from 10. They are less likely to place additional totems while they have at least one totem. Tukohama's vanguards. That's specifically just a nerf for them being spected because they were apparently good. What? Can't imagine they were that good. Were they? No, it's a pretty big nerf either way. Wickerman Righteous Fire damage has been lowered while spected. These monsters were using a version of Righteous Fire not intended for specters and were dealing significantly more damage than intended as a result. This change brings them in line with other specters who use Righteous Fire. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Spectre fans on suicide watch. How does it feel to like summoning stuff and get decked this hard? Bet it feels bad. Bet it feels real bad. Map balance. Wait, where are we up to? Come on, man. Feels bad? Okay, that's what I thought. Map balance. The entire atlas has been reworked. Many map names change, as have their balance, tier, and position on the atlas. Many maps have also had their boss fights swapped or completely reworked. Oh, the rules used to generate monsters in endgame maps have been significantly reworked and rebalanced around the rate at which we expect players to reliably carry out the map. In general, narrow linear maps will contain fewer total monsters than maps with complex layouts. We will be closely monitoring and adjusting the balance as change and expect to make further changes and improvements over time. So that's the density changes and all that, and XP per hour. Sounds amazing. Map mods have also been rebalanced, and every mod now provides increased item rarity, increased item quantity, and increased monster pack size, though the magnitude is dependent on the difficulty of the mod. I like that. I like that a lot. Hopefully they do have the right difficulty scaling, so, you know, like a shitload of damage mods on a map should be worth a lot. Whereas it's currently not worth much. Mao Kun, monsters no longer gain power and endurance every 20, as this was consistently causing performance problems. Really? These monsters now have a chance to gain those charges on hit. The number of monsters that appear in this map has been reduced, but the area now grants an increase to experience gain to compensate. I like that. I do like that. Might make running the map be a bit less painful. I haven't enlarged the text as much as I'm going to, man. This is, I think, big enough. Added a new map prefix, Feasting. The area is inhabited by cultists of Kitava. That's pretty cool. They're fun. Fun new monsters. Many monsters which appeared in Act 5 through 10, but did not appear in maps have been added to maps. Fairly good. Map bosses which have multiple forms or phases no longer count as multiple map bosses for the sake of achievements and challenges. Okay, I don't think that matters. Sun Caller Ash's Leap Slam ability has been rebalanced and now has a 4-second cooldown. That's the High Gardens boss, I assume, right? Okay. I suppose it didn't used to have a cooldown, did it? So that's good. Because that is one annoying twat of a boss. Rektar. can now smack around players who are standing too close to walls. Ooh, okay. Purge hounds now come out of their gates from further away and pursue players for longer distances. It's fine, shouldn't matter. Water elementals and their variants now appear in packs as a mix of visible and hidden monsters as opposed to all hidden or all visible. Okay, that's fine. The boss of D&T unique map now moves 35% faster while immune to damage. Oh, that's a buff. That's a nice little buff. Twisted effigy monster corpses can now be desecrated if you bring one into a map with you. Don't even know what that is. Royal map bosses now regain 33% of the max life when you break one of their nests. Nice! You can no longer break all 3 nests after he's at 1% life. You have to do it the hard way, like us plebs that have been dying to roll a boss since day 1. Looking at you, Blackjack King. If he's here. Added a pack of magic monsters to the boss rooms of maps that were missing them. Good. Monsters can now appear closer to the entrances in Ober's Cursed Trove. That's fine. Blackjack King lost his character on, did he say Mayhem? I don't know, I think it was Mayhem or Turmoil, to the bog triple egged or triple nested rower. Because he was testing his DPS. Test failed. The Hallowed Ground unique map is now on the Cemetery base type. Sure, why not? Mayhem, there you go. Passive tree changes. Valpact has been completely reworked. It no longer grants instantaneous life leech and instead doubles the rate of your life leech as well as your maximum leech rate. It has been moved into the duelist area. Second. Yeah. The passive skills behind Mind Over Matter now grant 10% increased mana down from 12 and 30% increased mana down from 40 and 40 added down from 100. Ooh, that 40 down from 100 is a bit rough. That's still a lot of mana, so that's not too bad, I think. The 40 is just rough, but the percents still look pretty big. The hematophagy. Notable now grants 3% of max life per second to max leech rate, down from 5. Vitality 3 down from 5. Okay, I think that'll still be fine though. Passive skills which previously granted increased melee physical damage while holding a shield now grant increased physical attack damage while holding a shield. It's no longer restricted to melee. That's pretty good. There's a few little uses for that. With old mate Wanda. And Spectral Throw. Mostly. I guess for some Frostblade's conversion too. Shit like that. So that's good. Many passive skills which previously only provided defensive bonuses while using a shield now also grant increased physical attack damage and damage with ailments while holding a shield. That's cool too. More shield buffs. Removed one of the passives leading to the Ash, Frost, and Storm notable near the sun. Okay, that's good. And Slayer. Brutal Fervor no longer grants 10% of max life per second to maximum life leech rate. Bit of an F, but it should still be really good with the Valpacts, so relax. Brosefs. Slayer is still good. Pantheon. The map bosses you're required to defeat to upgrade your Pantheon have for the most part changed. Shikari has been added to the Pantheon. Lovely. Labyrinth Balance. Added a new Dark Shrine effect that can only be found in the Interminable Labyrinth. So we don't know what it is. Okay. Change the requirement for some chests to appear. In general, chests should feel more rewarding and better suited for their level and difficulty. Awesome. Doesn't make labs suck any less. Increase the total amount of items found on average from silver chests. Great. Barrage. We went over that yesterday. Wrecked. Zana League mods available during 3.1. Anarchy, cost 2 chaos, 3 exiles, 20% quantity. Probably never use that. Almost never anyway. Bloodlines, 3 chaos. Magic monsters, 25% more. Magic monsters, that's pretty weak. Beyond, 3 chaos. That is rock hard. Level 4. Fortune favors the brave. Selects a Zana mod at random from those available from the device, including any mod you have not yet unlocked. Ooh. Means I can get Breach at level 4. Only 3 chaos. Yeah, that's probably the one we're always running, to be honest. 3 extra strong boxes, cost 4 chaos. Domination, 4 chaos, 3 extra shrines. Essence, 5 chaos, 2 extra essences, and breach, 6 chaos, 2 extra breaches. Yeah, I think fortune favors the brave. Seems good, man. No nemesis? Oh no. Whatever will I do without my headhunter? Dare I say, play the game and have my character's passives, gear, stats, and everything matter? PvP balance. Remove the level. Oh god, sorry. I read the word PvP. Am I supposed to read this? Remove the level 60 Sun Arena variant. Players who do not fit the requirements for level 40 Sun. Characters with the portals Death's Oath now deals significantly less damage against players and Grandmasters. Rip that one guy's build that was posted like a week ago, farming Grandmasters. I think people instantly said, yeah, shouldn't have done this, it's gonna get nerfed. GG. And there it is, nerfed. PvP only characters can no longer activate the map device. Death's Oath with farming hard. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, when I first clicked that video, I'm like, how does he kill CI dudes though? And then he's just like slowly Scorching Raying them, and I'm like, well then he could just make a Scorching Ray character, who gives a shit? Same thing. So, yeah. Like, I mean, sure, it was strong against it, but you still had to use a Scorching Ray. So it doesn't change anything, really. It just made killing some of them a lot easier. Anyway. Bleeding, 9 poison now, whatever. World changes. Completing the Mercy Mission quest now rewards players their choice of support gem, as well as a flask. That's pretty good. I like it. The hedge maze has been removed, and both Chittus, Plum, and the Trail of Sanity have been moved into the Imperial Gardens. Fuck yeah. Jesus Christ. That's random that they just decide to get rid of hedge maze. So, okay, I'll take it. Screw hedge maze, I guess. Stored glyphs have been added to areas all throughout Ray class, but in particular the areas added in the Fall of Oriel. Story glyphs, not stored glyphs, story glyphs. Lore, lol. Yeah, okay, good for that. The Strange Barrow now contains many more ordinary, non-swarming things. Awesome. That seems good. Strange Barrel is a bit boring at the moment. The fuel event in the beacon is now more involved, with extra monster packs spawning during the event. So your escort mission is now less boring, hopefully. Sounds good. The Southern Forest, especially in Act 6, has been fleshed out. The Act 6 version can now generate vile side areas. Alright, so I don't know, slight improvements there, probably. In the lead up to the Depraved Trinity encounter, the hut entrances to Malago, Chevron, Dodru's area stop beating as you defeat the associated boss. What a game changer. Did anybody notice that? The Templars' stash in the Act 10 ossuary has been renamed to the Sealed Chest. It has been given a new model. Okay, that's fine. Hagen no longer discusses the High Gardens, and talking to him about it is no longer required for the All Ears achievement. I don't know what that is. Added numerous variations to world areas throughout the campaign. Most areas, in particular areas added in the Fall of Oriath, now have several new possible layouts. Okay, that's pretty fun. Vol's proclamation in the Western Forest is now destroyed in part 2. You should check it out, it's pretty neat. What? Okay, maybe I'll check it out. Sounds pretty neat. Updated the mini-map icons for doors and area transitions that were missing them. Okay, awesome. No, I'm good. Hey, sounds neat. Come on. You gonna not listen to the patch notes? Shrines should no longer appear directly outside Tukohama's fortress. Sure. Katava's arena in Act 10 is now called the Altar of Hunger. Altar of Hunger? Altar of Hunger? Lovely. Malachi's journal no longer references an incorrect date. Saved? Jesus, I couldn't stand the inconsistency that Malachi's journal currently had with an incorrect date. Prophecies. Literally playable now. Yeah. Immersion. You know that someone pointed that out to them and they're like, oh, excuse me, GGG. I'll have you know there was an incorrect date referenced in Malachi's journal. Malachi actually took a shit on Wednesday the 6th of, fucking BC 2006. Whereas, otherwise they wouldn't have found that. And they wouldn't have fucking done that. So someone did complain. Rare monsters able to fulfill the requirements for unique item prophecies have been added to various locations throughout the world. They provide the opportunity to obtain an item with a high enough level to be 6-link. Rare monsters able to fulfill unique item prophecies have been added to various locations throughout the world. Okay. What's up, Anton? Give any more shits, you won't be allowed to stream. Farpoke, thanks for $5. I have no idea what that means. Trying to say I'm making too many jokes, I'm caring too much. I don't understand any of that. But thank you for the $5. You are no longer required to have the subject of a fated unique prophecy equipped, and can now complete such prophecies by merely holding the unique item in your inventory while killing the correct boss. That's kind of cool, I guess. Doesn't really matter too much, but okay. Prophecy of the Twins, which turns a non-twin map into a twin map, no longer grants 6% increased quantity of items found. Was that really something that needed fixing? I ask. The Prophecy Monstrous Treasure now completes upon opening the final strongbox in the area. Oh, what? Was that a loophole? Did it not consume? Or what? Blackjack is a Forsen sub? Yeah, he sold out. For some reason. I don't know. I used to think Blackjack had morals and cared. And used to be about the music. He's just a sellout. It consumed it, just didn't have the completion? Right, that's what I figured. Bug fixes. I don't think we read these really. Or do we? Because there are a lot, and they're mostly just going to be like, moved a pixel to the left that was to the right. Read. Just do Sunder. Read them all. Mother of God. Fixed a lot of typos and mismatches between character dialogue as spoken and as written. Fixed a bug which caused certain chests in the labyrinth which were intended to drop only jewelry to instead drop items of all kinds. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's kind of interesting. A specific jewelry one. Fixed a bug which caused earlier levels of the raised zombie skill gem to display the wrong life values. This does not affect zombie balance. Lovely to hear. Fixed a bug where some Varici mission requirements continue to be displayed even after completing or failing his mission. Saved. Fixed a bug where turning in a set of the Siren divination cards is giving a corrupted whispering ice without the correct 20 quality. Right. Trial of Sunder. I don't know what that does. I'm new to computing. Fixed a bug where the notable practical application granted strength and dexterity as separate rather than combined stats. This does not change the function of the passive whatsoever. This is why I don't read this shit typically. That's what I mean. Fixed a bug where you could bypass the barrier in Act 7 Chamber of Sins early. Okay. Fixed a bug where Icebark could support Totem, Trap, and Mind Skills despite its effect not working on them. Okay. Fixed support ability description text of both Icebite and Innovate. Alrighty. I don't know if you are joking or not, but Control F lets you search for text. Holy shit. I did not know the technology was there. What a time to be alive. Maybe soon we'll land a man on the moon with this level of intricacy in our computing systems. Farpoke donated $5. New attempt. You've given any more shits about the passionates on stream. Twitch will ban you for scant. I'm way too tired to write properly, apparently. Please use these $5. Pretend it was funny. Hilarious one, man. Thank you for the $5. That was money well spent. Where are we up to? And why are we up to? Moon landing fake confirmed. Some people think so. I guess I don't personally have any proof, but I choose to believe there's been a moon landing. Fixed supportability, blah blah blah. Fixed a bug where the Defiance notable was granting increased melee physical damage that was not conditional to holding your shield. Huh. That is a bug. Fixed a bug where you could leap slam out of General Adeusis, Raiders, whatever, arena without completing the encounter. Also prevented access to thread powder until General Adeuce is dead for good measure. You know what you did, Raze. Confirmed, Raze will now be dead last in every race because he can't cheese it. And entirely relied on that bug to put him at number 1 for a lot of the races. Fixed a bug with the increased global armor while you have no energy shield stat found on the Broken Faith unique, whatever. Fixed a bug with a bonus unique Labyrinth Shrine effect that would cause a huge lag spike when activated. Okay, I don't think I ever had that personally. Fixed a bug which prevented some monsters from being able to trigger their mines. I'm going to stop reading fixed a bug because I believe everything is a bug fix. So, oh come on, there's so much left. Jesus. Where was I? Counted Torment could possess life and arms orbs during the dawn dusk encounters. Huh. Yeah, never came across that personally. I didn't say I'm going to stop reading all this. I said I'm going to stop reading fixed a bug. I'm still getting to Sunder. Relax, chat. You don't have to commit Sudoku just yet. Now I lost my spot again. God damn it. Where the text and the challenge screen could overlap in some languages. Client crash caused by the low mana tutorial. Where totems with low max life values would fail to reach 1 life due to rounding, thus failing to properly disable righteous fire. Oh damn, that is a bug. But you could kill Abrath, Clevenwat before it's transitions into later phases. Yeah, I never did that personally. Where the gem level up tutorial would incorrectly override other tutorials. Rip that. Shrines could occasionally be placed in unreachable locations. Never came across that. Where double-clicking a character with an expired name would delete the character while you were changing its name. Oh, that's a hilarious bug. This would prevent the renamed character from being automatically logged in as intended and not change the name on the character select screen even though it saved the new character's name to the server. No, wait, it didn't say delete, it said deselect. That's not hilarious at all. That's nothing. I'm special. Mom was right. No, Mom. Fixed a bug where selecting a slot in the cosmetics tab after switching between the cosmetics tab and inventory tab using hotkeys would require an extra click. Lovely. Where modifiers to element damage from attacks while holding a shield or applying twice if you weren't using a Farinastra. From attacks while holding a shield or applying twice if you weren't using Farinastra. Righto. Where the sextant that grants players instant life and mana recovery from flasks was not actually granting any instant recovery. Yeah, that's kind of silly. So, cool, I guess. Removing static strike skill gem from its socket or doing anything else to save skill would immediately trigger all static strike explosions. Is that a thing someone was abusing? I see. Fixed a bug where, that's probably not important. Low-level characters in the same league on the same account as characters engaged in the Shaper questline had that questline disabled in their quest tracker while in town or a hideout. Are we triggered? Come on. I need to see some triggered chat. I didn't see a single re. You guys were fine. Alright. Fix the bug where enemies hit by Sunder's linear component also unintentionally got hit by the area effect that hit created. Is that bad? Got hit by the area effect that hit created. I mean, that doesn't sound like a game breaker to me. Sure, it sometimes happened, but did it always happen? Was it an issue? %6 lost on a single target. I mean, yeah. Okay. If that's the case, if the single target was always getting hit by both, then yeah, I suppose that's a pretty big fucking nerf. But I don't know. I suppose that could be terrible, couldn't it? It was never that good on single target to begin with. But does anyone care about that? Like, doesn't everyone use Sunder because it farms the absolute shit out of everything, not because of the single target? And most people that played Sunder the way they played it, they didn't have any single target damage to begin with, and they didn't attack bosses or hard monsters anyway. So I don't know, man. I don't know if that really matters. That's all I'm gonna say. I think I accidentally changed my mouse sensitivity again. I don't know. Fix a bug with characters where effects that change the size of your character could cause some spells and effects to appear incorrectly. Lovely. Damage over time effects not correctly causing some bosses to transition through their phases would result in a pure damage over time character being unable to progress through some fights. Wow. I've never encountered that, but I mean, imagine someone new just like trying out damage over time and just can't kill a boss or can't do something. That'd be pretty hilarious. They're like, fuck this game, table flip. I reckon that would have been rare though, really rare. Where Dodri could kill herself while teleporting if her life was especially low. Dodri, no! So much to live for. I hear Logic has a great song for her to listen to. Skeleton generals summoned by Val summon skeletons played the wrong effect as they appeared. Right. Sure, that doesn't really matter. Where you could continue channel skills even after being reduced to 0 action speed, such as after being petrified by the basilisk. Don't think that's really too relevant. The automatically updating public parties tab would turn off AFK mode. Right. I guess that's kind of a bug. Second master could teleport into a position that blocked access to areas such as doorways. Yep, bugged. Fixed the display duration of innovation, and arcane surge on skills which have their own duration modifiers. Alright. The duration of instances of temporal chains applied on hit from items was too short. Bit of a bug. Attempt to respawn in a hideout where the waypoint is blocked by an object cause fixed life. Cause you disconnect. Yeah, I never had that. Fixed life and mana levels overlapping text with the help panel open. Yeah, I've never seen that. Unique maps which shared a base type with a map that had a boss whose soul could be captured for the Panther would be displayed as having that boss. A slight problem, sure. Where Glacial Hammer would sometimes not interact correctly with Hero devices on Shatter Effect. A buff! Finally. Fix some instances of NPC talk options being placed in the wrong category. Doesn't matter. Using Warcry or holding Debion's Dirge would ignore knockback avoidance. Huh. Alright. Was that relevant? Probably not. Despite being untargetable, allied harbingers and other untargetable entities could trigger enemy traps. Yeah, that's kind of shit, so nice fix there. We're gaining multiple shrine effects of the same type in the labyrinth would stack rather than replacing each other. Did that ever happen? I don't remember that happening. Fix several instances of skills becoming invisible after leaving and re-entering an area. This includes Katava's Devouring Darkness. Several instances of skills becoming invisible after leaving and re-entering an area. Does that like fix the series storm calls and shit like that? Because that would be fucking incredible, but don't know. Hopefully. It's about time if that is a thing that's can actually be fixed. Fixed a bug where Stormburst existed. Sorry. Where Stormburst's explosions were not destroying chests, cairns, and barrels. What a buff. Just the one Stormburst needed. Fix some slightly wonky descriptions on the Fortify-centric passive skills. Lovely. Where skills supported by Innovate would call all skill spells in the skill pop-up. All skills spells in the skill pop-up. Okay. Never noticed that. Where some tightly packed areas, such as Forsaken Master mission areas, would try and fail to spawn extra monsters like Tormented Spirits and Rogue Exiles. Now they're trying to succeed. Great job. Thanks. What? Labyrinth silver chests and other rewards away from walls and lock their rotation. This should prevent items that they spit out becoming inaccessible. Yeah, that's happened before, so that's really a thing. Good night, bug, damn it. Moved the labyrinth silver chests. Fixed a bug where the Fell Shrine ruins could generate a Val side area on the wrong side of the river. That's a bit of a rip. Removed several of Silk's old dialogue options that were out of date. Cool. Bug where Grandmasters were only gaining more attack damage from frenzy charges, not general damage. Ah. I doubt that's too relevant, but lovely. Vile Ruins in Act 2 could generate a pile of extra rooms it wasn't meant to. Ooh. That could be a huge buff, because I hate the Vile Ruins, and maybe that means they're not as stupid anymore? Maybe? That could be good. Where the shield crabs and the boiling lakes didn't drop loot. Bit of a bug. Lightning rods in the general a deuce, and Minotaur fights could be knocked back. Really? That I've never seen. Would have been fun. Fix some audio popping and cracking issues. I don't think I ever had any, but that's good. Arc of Eternity and Teardrop quest items were missized for the size of their art. Okay. Players could have more than the number of pets they actually own following them. Have more than the number of pets they actually own following them. I don't think I know that. It's a bug where French rare names were not always using the correct gender for the epithet. Triggered as fuck. Blink arrow's behavior and reliability on unusual terrain has been improved. Lovely. Bug where item hovers would sometimes vibrate. Oh, they fixed it! So you can't vibrate items anymore. Awesome. Thank you so much for your support. They really highlight your support with a hyperlink to the fucking to the supporter packs. It's pretty funny. Let's go. Thank you for your service, Bretzels. Woot. Hey, guys, a login, dude. Alright, here we go. Responses to the patch notes. I want to quickly address some specific feedback. There are too few buffs. This is honestly a time issue. We have buffs planned that have been pushed to later 3.1x patches or 3.2. Not cool, Potato. Not cool at all. Think of this up. We have buffs planned that have been pushed to later due to being incomplete as of this week. 3.1 expansion was developed under an aggressive schedule, fitting what would normally take 26 weeks into 17. Mother of God. While we try to budget sufficient time to include everything we want to into a release, we felt this was an acceptable compromise over not having a big December release for you to enjoy during the holidays. Buffing stuff isn't just a matter of typing a bigger number into a box. Think it is. But often involves recreating content from the ground up, like with Lightning Tendrils. I mean, sure. But for some things, it literally is typing a bigger number into a box, man. At least in my opinion. For some things. Some things are fine. They just need a bigger number. Don't get me wrong, the Tendrils buff is amazing and looks really cool. And if you could do that for all skills, that'd be really cool. And yes, time consuming. Anyway. Please note that many buffs have come in the form of new uniques or skill combinations that aren't 100% obvious from quickly skim reading the patch notes. That is fair. Not enough buffs for unpopular ascendancy classes. 3.2 is planned to have a rebalance of all ascendancies, notably including the Scion and the Elementalist. Pretty good, I guess. Not yet though, but soon. Breach is on level 8 Zana again. Dicked. We absolutely know that you like Breach, and that's why the Abyss League has been designed the way it has. It is the new Breach, and it is in almost every area. It's balanced in basically the same way in terms of hectic fights and item rewards. Breach still occurs 10% of the time in the maps. It's easy to roll with Fortune Favors the Brave outcome, and we chose to include it on Zana's list for a second consecutive league rather than rotating it out. There are certainly going to be a lot of breaches open in 3.1. I agree. I don't know why anyone would have been complaining about that, to be honest. The Baron nerf. This item should never have gone out in its original state. But it did. A single item granting a 200% bonus to melee physical damage for a minion. For minions is not acceptable. We are very sorry for this and that we had to lay an effort. It's still a great item. From what I overhear in the office, new Abyss jewels are outrageously powerful for summoners and can roll so much crazy shit. The patch notes are generally underwhelming, so with this release we'll put out new expansion details, the league, all the specific nerfs, and heaps of new tidbits for separate announcements. Aside from the patch notes themselves somewhat drive exceptionally interesting information, as we generally spotlighted it earlier, with the exception of the new Flask UI, hedge measure, character league, drop-down QL changes, etc. Do you feel this approach is worse than holding back information, bolster patch notes, encourage releases? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fan of having, announcements and stuff slowly bled out. I know a lot of people are because it builds hype and they want stuff as soon as possible. But on the other hand, it is kind of fun. So I don't know. Because it is also fun just, knowing nothing and then boom, everything at once 3 days before. And you're just like, holy fucking shit. It all looks so good. I don't know. That's fine. I guess that's fine. My biggest concern would have been the too few buffs to skills and all that, and he addressed that, and that's fine. Fair enough. It's coming later. I still think the current expansion and patch and league looks pretty damn good. And I'm not sad by these patch notes, like some other people may. B, I think there's plenty of stuff in this patch. Yeah, I think the game looks like it'll be pretty damn sweet.